So the first story we're going to get into is Kelley Flanagan. She is speaking out and giving us more details on her and Peter's breakup. Kelley went on the Chicks in the Office podcast to let us know what really went down between her and Peter. The couple announced their split back in December, but were on and off for a couple months before calling it quits officially in February. Kelley went into detail about some of the things that turned her off. She says he loves Pokemon cards, he loves playing video games, he loves going out and partying. There was a little bit where she was trying to convince herself that she liked those things too, and she had to be honest with herself, and she doesn't. So it sounds like Peter is a little bit of a man-child. Are we surprised by these details? Have you guys ever convinced yourself that you liked what your partners liked? Gianna, let's start with you.
Peter from the beginning has always struck me as sort of mama's boy, man child, very like a baby that's just dependent on other people always. So this just doesn't surprise me. And now we're learning that he loves Pokemon cards, which nothing wrong with that. But dude, you're 29 years old, like you're an adult. It's time to grow up. And I don't like it. In life, I've had boyfriends and my exes. I've definitely experienced, like trying to get into the music they like, trying to like read a book that they like or something, just always trying to kind of relate to them. But I think that Kelley was doing exactly what she said, more so convincing herself that she did like Peter rather than trying to relate with him, because I really don't think she could relate with him on the Pokemon card and video game type of thing. And again, to each their own, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I'm in his dating history just really screams commitment issues to me, and lots of red flags that we've seen. And Kelley just proves all of this to be right. I am not a fan of Peter. He's a baby, and any man that is a mama's boy pretty much has commitment issues. So, Hiba, I know that you also share the dislike toward Peter. What are your thoughts about this?
I hate to say that I dislike him. I just think that we're very different. And the Peter, I had to Google his age. He is 29, you guys. I did not expect this. I was thinking maybe like 26, 25, based on the way that he's behaved. And I respect Kelley for being, open-minded, trying to kind of like the things that he likes and kind of, find those commonalities and similarities in the relationship. But the fact that, the Pokemon cards when I read that, I just did such an eye roll. I mean, like, come on, seriously, as a 29-year-old, and the partying, which I get, but if you're trying to, find someone and you were a lead of a Bachelor season and you still haze and relationships aren't working out, there definitely seems to be some sort of reprioritizing of things in your life that be done. And it just seems like it wasn't surprising at all that these were the reasons why the relationship didn't work out. We saw this all coming. We saw the red flags, and Kelley just gave us that validation, that confirmation of why this relationship ended. And it's just so interesting. And again, I give her props to, like trying to stick it through and, maybe try it again, in the new year, which is what they did for their timeline of the relationship. But the fact that he is really just a man child and she's like a lawyer, like she has, her stuff together, and she's probably dated like more is before Peter and hopefully after as well. But it just seems like she just learned from this lesson and knows exactly what not to look for. But it's just so surprising to me that she first even got with him in the first place. But again, this is just all confirmed. Like exactly what I thought of Peter, it's just been proven right.
Yeah, I don't want to judge him too much for the Pokemon thing, which I get. Like, it is like a little bit more of something you do when you're a kid, but it's more of like the going out and partying, which I think is totally fine. But if you're looking for like marriage and kids, and then Kelley just seems to be in a different phase of life. So if those two things aren't going to line up, I totally get why Kelley wanted to move on. And she continued on the podcast, giving us a little bit more detail, saying that when they originally broke up, Kelley asked Peter to wait a few days for her to let her family and friends know that they were done before announcing it to the public. And Peter went against her wishes and posted an Instagram about their breakup anyway. Apparently, the Bachelor executives persuaded Peter into posting the public breakup before the premiere of Matt James's season. A couple of months after their New Year's breakup post, the pair reconnected in February, but it was very short-lived. Kelley got into detail about how it ended worse than it did the first time. She essentially told him to get out of her life forever, but would still track his location on Find My Friends. Gianna, what are your thoughts on the more details that we're getting from Kelley? Have you ever tracked anybody on Find My Friends?
Of course I have. Who hasn't? I mean, I have all my best friends on Find My Friends. And I do have past people on Find My Friends too. And guess what? There are some people that hint, hint, wink, wink, certain exes that didn't let me have them on Find My Friends, probably for a specific reason. And God, I wish that they let me track them because I would have been on there every 2 seconds. So this is so normal. Like, if you say that you don't, I feel like you're lying, but if you don't, then whatever. Find My Friends is a great tool, not only for, this world is scary, and when women go out, they want to be tracked so their friends can keep track, but it's also an essential tool for figuring things out, especially in relationships this day and age. People can be sketchy, and this is just a great way to find out where people are at, if you just want to use it to your advantage. But everything that Kelley's telling us, like, this is just baffling to me. And it proves to the point that Peter really is an immature little boy. He's not a man at all. The fact that she asked him to respect her and wait to tell all these people about their breakup, and he went ahead and did it, probably for attention. Like, why else would he go against her word? Like, it's absolutely immature behavior. And it's just crazy. So I can completely understand why she's like, you know what, never talk to me again. It seemed like they were in kind of a roller coaster of a relationship, always up and down. They're not together, they are together. And again, I've been through that. It gets to the point where you need to cut them off in a harsh way in order for it to end, because if you don't, it's never going to end when you're kind of stuck in that manipulative path. And I'm not assuming that he was, maybe he was, but when men and women are stuck with a manipulative partner, it's nearly impossible to get out of the relationship unless you cut all ties. But props to her for keeping him on Find My Friends. That's amazing. I mean, we've had Bachelor contestants in the past stalk their exes. Again, hint, hint, we all know who I'm talking about. So I think she was just looking out for her own safety, and I'll respect. I really do respect Kelley as a woman. Hibba, how about you?
I mean, we all have those weak moments, where we're constantly refreshing every second. And personally, for me, it wasn't Find My Friends. It was the freaking Snapchat map. You guys, that was the death of me. Never again. That's why I deleted Snapchat. I'm done with it. I'm done. But anyways, back to Kelley and Peter. I just think it happens to the best of us. It's very relatable what she said and admitted that she would, keep tracking him on that app. And that takes guts to admit, especially kind of like dating and also a public figure. But again, it just seems so like it was just going nowhere. It just seems so forced, and we just knew from the start that this wouldn't work because they are so on different pages in their lives and different chapters and different stages as well. And it just seemed that Peter is very more on the impulsive side and will just kind of date anybody and everybody, whereas Kelley just seemed to be a little bit more, wanting to focus on him and to commit to that and make it work. Because again, they did give it another shot, like we're talking about later on, when she gave him a new shot in the new year. So I think that's just who Kelley is. But I think Peter just was kind of there to just really, okay, that it's another end of a relationship, okay, on to the next. And that's why he didn't really care to give her the respect of waiting for her to tell her family, and he just kind of, spilled the beans to everybody online. So that was just unfortunate and such a bummer. But I mean, it just goes to show you who Peter is. And before you guys come for us in the comments, I mean, we are just judging Peter based off of what he's done. Of course, we don't know him personally, but this is what he's done. This is his track. So are we going to judge him? Like, these are the decisions he's making. I've said it again, and I'll say it one more time, that he's a grown-ass man and he's making these petty decisions and he's not being respectful at all. And he's 29, and I don't know, he probably just needs to cut the cord from his parents and just like grow up and step away from the spotlight, because I know he like all past deals and things like that to really milk being in the Bachelor franchise. But I just think he really needs to step away and just really figure out what he wants besides the fame and all the paparazzi and like social media. And he just needs to kind of reflect deeper on what he actually wants out in life versus, just hopping around and just dating people and hanging out with his famous friends like we see in this picture.
You know, I definitely agree with what a lot of you guys are saying, but in Peter's defense, the reason he did want to post about the breakup sooner than later is because he wanted to get it out there before Matt James's season started. So that kind of was like the Bachelor bubble or whatever that was telling him to get that out, the Bachelor executives. And I also want to give Peter one more kudos because he did, even though he is the biggest mama boy ever, he did move to New York. He cut the cord. He was living with his mom until he was 27. So I will give him that.
Oof.
But in regards to, no, I know, but in regards to Kelley, like, girl, I think you should have known from the beginning. How many girls did he go through on his season before he ended up at you? I won't even be surprised if Peter goes on Paradise or dates somebody else. But either way, I'm so proud of Kelley for getting out of there, speaking her truth. And you know what? There will be a better guy for Kelley. And just like you guys, Hiba, I'm also a victim of the snap map. But that is all we have to share with you guys for now. So as always, we want to know your thoughts. So if you missed the lives, you can still tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to Shared News YouTube channel. Subscribe, ring the bell so you do not miss out on any of our videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality. And today I was joined by Gianna Gravelisi and Hiba Berry. You guys can follow us down below and say hello. And thank you all so much for watching. We will see you guys on the next live. Bye.